I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts, and crafts and jewelry. This the guardians of the geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
All right, Guardians of the Geekery special Geekery Market edition. Geekery Market coming at you with November 9th at the Cabarrus Arena and Events Center. And please bring a canned good or non-perishable item for the Second Harvest Food Bank. Very important. Our charity partner does a lot of great work. And if you've gone to our event a couple years ago when it might have been named something else, Muggles Market, there weren't a ton of parking spaces. That was kind of a challenge. But Get a Geeker, how many spaces are there at the new venue?
Over 2,200.
Whoa! So you will have no problem parking, and a lot of that parking is really close to the building as well. So that was our first time last year. So we're excited to return. And but anyway, enough about that. But one of the people coming back is I don't know. He's kind of like the fifth Beatle. He's really integral to the Charlotte Geeks and to everything we're building here. He is artist extraordinaire, Greg Russell. Greg, woo!
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah,
Ew.
and for those who've ever seen one of the postcards for the Geekery Market, seen one of the t-shirts for the Geek Gala, since 2016, so for the past 8 years plus, Greg has been doing most of the graphics to do with the Charlotte Geeks. So the only one he hasn't done is this logo, which we're working on, right? We're going to do a redo of that at some point. But the Geekery Market over my shoulder here and the postcards and all that stuff, that's all Greg. And actually, if you go to the Charlotte Geeks website and you click on the About Us, you'll see our artist, and it links to all of the a lot of the great branding. I don't even think we've added the new ones because every time we turn around, I'm like, hey, Greg, can you make this for me? Can you make that for me? And he does it every time. So he actually did the logo for Two Woke Bonnets as well.
Yes, indeed. So our newest podcast
about Little House on the Prairie, because we don't have enough to do, evidently. So we
Right.
just decided to make a new podcast. So you'll have to go check that out. But welcome back, Greg.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be involved in all your branding, and I really appreciate it. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
And it's a good organization to be associated with.
Well, thank you. And one of the things that I think is so unique about Greg versus some of the other artists, which they do great stuff too, but Greg, you're so versatile. You can draw in so many different styles. And so if somebody is looking for that gritty black and white kind of comic book style, you do that. If you're looking for kind of the Bearstein Bears, Dr. Seuss kind of happy-go-lucky characters, you do those as well. You've done steampunk, you've done Day of the Dead for us, you've done all sorts of different types of art. And you've done art that's very almost true to life, and then you've done caricatures. I mean, how did you get started in drawing, and what style is your favorite to draw in? Because you really do them all.
Right. Well, I started when I was a little bitty boy, and every time I was sick, my dad would bring a stack of comic books, and I love the art more than anything else. So I started out tracing and recreating the art from the comic books. So my, I guess, original style and more true to nature style is comic book art. I went to East Carolina to study graphic design and painting. And actually, I was always worried I couldn't develop my own style. And like you said, I did a little bit of everything. But I think that's turned out to be an advantage, really.
I mean, you definitely you'll always put your little signature in it, but it's definitely you can adjust, which is great, because I think that allows it to keep being new, So
yes,
True.
definitely.
I think that's an advantage.
And Greg, you're we've got your spotlight on the Charlotte Geeks Geekery Market page, and I've got it on another monitor in front of me, and I've got it scrolls your art and different things. So it's a couple of your characters just crack me up. It's
they're
Richard.
fun to do.
It's Richard Pryor, which is just classic. You nailed him. And then it's Batman, and he's tangled up in a batarang rope as well, which is really awesome. And then you've got like a Charlie Brown destroyer, like he's almost like Conan, the barbarian, and just like Joey was saying, just such a wide range that you can adjust, but you still put your own mark on it, which I think is really really fun. And also you're really shepherding the local, and I guess kind of almost worldwide now. Ink is spread about, hasn't it?
That's right. That's very true. Let's see. I have inks right here. This is my publication. It's a quarterly comic book zine anthology, and I've been doing this for going on 6 years now. And I did it mostly to get my work out in the public. It's so easy to publish now. This is my art on the cover. And I invited my friends to join me, mostly Charlotte area friends, so we could fill it up very easily with a variety of storylines and art styles. And lately we're getting submissions from Canada, the UK, and Kazakhstan. So it is becoming a worldwide publication.
And did I see over 1,500 requesters,
yes.
And then you put it out all over the place as well, so.
Right. I personally distribute all over Charlotte. I just got back from Athens, Atlanta, and Asheville. And I have ambassadors in New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia. So contributors and advertisers are getting national exposure.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
And that was hard to do, especially during the pandemic, just to keep going. 4 times a year and getting it out, because people weren't out and about just picking it up like they used to. So
that's true. It is available. Every issue is available as a PDF online too. So you can find that link on our Instagram page and Facebook. And for people who are interested in contributing, you can send an email to inkscomic@gmail.com and request the specs. And we'll be glad to receive
and that's
your art.
INX.
Yes.
Inks Comics.
Exactly.
So is it comic or comics?
Comic, singular.
inkscomic@gmail.com. So we'll make sure to include that in the show notes. But definitely check that out. So and Matt, you were actually in a pre-version of Inks, right? During
Tangents. Greg was kind enough to run. It was artist John Bergen and myself who poking fun at one of our ex-governors.
That's right. I also I was co-publisher of Tangents magazine back in the 90s. We featured local artists, writers, and musicians. That was published monthly. It was a fun magazine to put together.
I used to hunt those things down. So.
Yeah, poster art or fiction stories in the center. Yeah, thank you.
So good. And
so what kind of
amazing.
So what kind of stuff are you going to be bringing to sell at the market? So obviously you'll have some copies of Inks there, correct? So people can check that out. But what else will you have there?
I'll have the free copies of Inks. I'll have our 5th anniversary full-size color edition. The artist really had we had one renegade who did it in black and white. But we have full-size comics, which is really fun and really good quality. The printer did a great job. I'll have my, my art prints, superhero art as well. Whoops.
I put Superman behind here in deference to your Superman print. So.
Is that right? Also have some monster art, Mothra.
Oh, ghosts.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. some humor parody art. Here's a Charlie Brown, the Berserker.
Yes.
He was bound to snap. And I have some of my old Geek Gala art.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
One of
also
the things that I love that we do with all of the geek art is that we've always put like multiple fandoms in there so that you can search and check. What did we figure out? 18 or 19 in the Geekery Market postcard for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's a lot.
so I always like to quiz people and see if they can find them all and figure them all out. So
That's a fun game. Yeah.
and then you also do caricatures. If people want to pay ahead of time, you'll do an
Yes.
in-depth caricature, which is a great holiday gift. Now, this is a little bit more of an investment, but it's actually a representation of you in art form. And people can go onto your website and request that in advance and send some pictures, right? So
That's right. That's
and what
right.
do you have hidden behind your back there? You're just like a magician. You've always got something going on.
Yeah, if for a caricature, just send an email to greg@gregrussell.us, and I'll be glad to help you out with that. I can also do art prints like this. I'll do requests for these as well. So just
That's awesome.
send an email to request one. I'll also have my larger posters. I did a series of B-movie posters. This is Plan 9 from Outer Space. I look back at after watching the movies again, I went back to look at the original posters, and they don't illustrate the movie at all. It doesn't look like
No.
So,
well, in the case of Plan 9, I
decided
don't think they wanted to. It might keep people away, although I love that poster. That is
Oh,
awesome.
you make it look more interesting than it is.
Yeah.
I decided to do what I would like to see.
Yeah.
I also have Planet of the Vampires.
Ooh,
Oh,
it's a deep cut. That's nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, no, seriously.
another deep cut. The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. It's a fairly
Oh my
graphic.
God.
I've never seen it. It looks incredible,
It's a
though.
Christopher Lee movie. So I have all these. Here's an original piece. Dracula on a Harley Davidson with a bunch of werewolves.
3 wolves.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I have all this for sale. I'll have buttons, stickers, magnets, a few t-shirts. I have some Charlotte themed t-shirts that I'm still selling.
Do you still have the Charlotte magnet sets? I always love those too.
That has sold out. Yeah, that's up here. I sold about 60, but they're all made by hand and very labor intensive. So I stopped at 60. But that was fun
And
to
so
do.
here's the lesson to learn, children. If you like part of Greg's art, you have to get it while it's there, because
right.
he does nothing half butt wise. I don't know if I should say the other word, but he does nothing on the half. He does everything on the whole. He throws himself totally into it. So if you want that kind of quality attention to detail, you've got to get it while it's there, because artists, we don't have millions of trillions of dollars to be printing this stuff out, so get it while it's there, support your local artists. So
Absolutely.
It's not
anything
made
else?
overseas at a sweatshop. It's
Yeah.
Greg's,
Yeah, this is
Greg's
actually
personal sweat to make it.
Yeah. In the Carolina heat, probably a sweatshop, but not on overseas sweatshops.
Right. That's what
I guess,
like.
yeah, I guess you get teased too. It's been a while, but I know it's ramping up again. But the comic book between Giddy Geeker and yourself, Greg.
Yeah, so Greg and I we've known each other for a long time, since the beginning. And then Matt wrote a comic book series called The Leather Jacket Guy. And I always tell this story, but when he and I started dating and he told me that he wrote comic books, I called Carol up in a panic, because I was like, I really like this guy. And but I can be pretty
It
snarky
sucks.
about stuff. So he brought me over copies of his comics and he laid them down and I was like, do I need to read them now? And he's like, no, 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 whatever. And we went on our date and then we came back. And for one whole day, I kind of like let them sit on the counter because I was like, man, I really like this guy, but if it's bad, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Fortunately for me, I loved his comic book series, Leather Jacket Guy, and I think he needs to write more. But when he was turning that big number that starts with a 5 and ends with a 0, I'll let you figure that out on your own. I Greg and I started working on a comic book series about a little boy, and in that series, he has posters of Leather Jacket Guy um on his walls. So adjacent to your world immersive, connected. I don't know how it goes. But
Multiverse.
we've
It's a
gotten
multiverse.
almost all the way to the end, and I've got that horrible writer's issue of the fact that I know that it's going to go on. That'll be 3 parts, but I don't know exactly where I want to end the first part. And there's something about actually ending your first work, right? Because you're just like, you're constantly doubting yourself and you finally just need to cut it and just put it out there in the world. So hopefully by 2025 we will have it for I'm saying spring Comic-Con. I'm not gonna put it for December Comic-Con. I'm gonna hold it for spring Comic-Con. My goal would be for us to finish that and then immediately start on the next 2 so that we can get all 3 out. But yes, um, and again, that's just where Greg's skill set comes in because although it's not autobiographical about Matt, there are parts of Matt's life and people in Matt's life that I wanted to incorporate in there, and he was able to help us kind of adjust that. So that's been kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So we've got projects like that coming up too. But more about Greg. So you need to go
Yes.
to the market. You need to buy Greg's stuff. So that way he will continue to have time for me to continue my project. No
Totally selfish
ulterior
reasons.
motive whatsoever.
Totally selfish reasons.
Yeah. So
That's okay.
anything
to
else
work
you want
on.
to tell the good people of the airwaves? Obviously, this is not as good of an audio podcast, people. You're gonna have to go to the
You're gonna
website.
have to
You
come and
need
look
to
at the
check
art.
out his
Yeah.
art. You won't appreciate it just over the air. We're not that good describers. But you definitely want to check it out. Anything else you want to tell the good people so they can pre-order by emailing you, go to your website, see some of your work.
That's right.
If you want to do a true to life caricature, or if you want to do one of your loved ones as a
Exactly.
superhero. I mean, you did one of Matt and I as Batman and the Joker one year, and
Batman.
different things like that. So yeah, so okay, I'm going to start talking because I've asked you 3 times if you'd like to tell them anything, and then I've not stopped talking.
No, you're doing an excellent job. Yes, drawing people heroes is definitely an option. I can do that. Yes, go to gregrussell.us and you can see examples of my work and get in touch with me to request an art print or a caricature or whatever you like. I'll be glad to do it.
Also, he does logos for companies.
Yep.
If you've ever been to Pinky's West Side Grill, you've seen some of Greg's work, along with the Geek Gala, and you've done work for other people as well. So if you need a logo for your business, if you need help getting graphics for your web design, he does it all. He is retired because he never stops working, but but he gets to choose which things he does. So if you have something that you would like him to do for you, make sure to check it out. And then, oh yeah, show him those
I
too.
got to mention, yes, I also design and illustrate books. So I have designed all these books back here, including Jeffrey Gitomer's million-selling Little Red Book of Selling.
Oh,
And at the Geekery Market, I will have some books I've illustrated recently. Really lame cartoon puns for attorneys,
Oh my God.
and look something like that.
Nice.
And I'll also have really lame accounting pun cartoons and really lame cartoon puns for engineers.
Oh my
These
God.
make good gifts if you know people in these industries.
Okay, and is that your pseudonym? Calculus?
No, this is the writer's pseudonym. He changes it for each book. For engineers, it's less. And for accounting, it's General Ledger.
Love it.
And for attorneys, it's Peely Bargain. So he's kind of anonymous, but it's the same guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He does
So
a great job
listen,
writing it.
automatic holiday gift, right? For
That's
the
right.
engineers,
right.
accountants, lawyers in your life, you've got them covered. And then, for the people who enjoy true art with vampires, Batman, and Mothra, you've got them covered. And then for those
Right.
other people, you can get a caricature done, and then you've got them covered. And then you can also get the comic books and the ink editions for your comic book lovers in your life. So really, it's a one-stop shop for your holiday shopping, when you think about it,
That's right.
Oh, Greg, it is always so much fun to chat with you, and thank you so much for hanging out with us again. And please make sure to stop by Greg's website. Make sure if you want a caricature, that you go ahead and pre-order it. If you want some of these books and magazines, again, limited edition, so better to pre-order for it. Make sure it's there. And again, Geek Math, if you pay for it now, then when you get to the market and pick it up, it's like it's free. So, you really can't go wrong.
Right.
Any
Thanks for letting
famous
me share
last
my work.
words? Yeah.
No, that's all. Thank you very much. I appreciate
All
it. It's
right.
good seeing you all again.
It
Thank
was
you.
good to see
Too,
you.
Greg.
We'll see you soon.
Yep, absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.